And I'm here to tell you guys, the people of these Western countries have every right to resist you motherfuckers saying we're coming and we're going to take over. They have every right to resist. They really do. Because this is not a Muslim country. It's not. And I know you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we will react to Myron gains crashing out on Muslims once again. So we're gonna first start by looking at a clip that went viral last year. And we just kind of gonna analyze in which kind of controversy Myron is tearing up once again. So without any further ado, let's go.
Praying with loudspeakers and shit to do what? To assert fucking dominance. Okay? That's what they're really fucking doing. I'm not stupid. Let's just call a spade a spade. All right? I'm probably the only Muslim that will admit this shit. When they're shutting down Times Square, when they're fucking blocking off the streets, when they're doing the Adhan 5 times a day, it's to assert fucking dominance. And if you bitch ass niggas don't want to admit that, then I fucking will. Because you guys are fucking liars. It's to assert dominance. It's to let people know that we're coming. And I'm here to tell you guys, the people of these Western countries have every right to resist you motherfuckers saying we're coming and we're going to take over. They have every right to resist. They really do. Because this is not a Muslim country. It's not. And I know you guys don't like hearing that shit, but if you guys want to hear that shit.
So I'm gonna stop the video right there because he's saying a lot of dangerous stuff that's not quite coherent and it have no real basis in reality. And just let me tell you guys, I have no problem with criticizing the event of praying in Times Square. You know, if you want to criticize it, you can go ahead. There's no problem with that, you know, because every time you're doing something in public, you're up for criticism, all right? But the problem is that if you want to criticize it, especially you as a Muslim, you should try to do it with honesty and with facts, you know? Because now he's just going like in all direction and just screaming at the top of the like his lung to the camera, you know? He kind of reminds me of the meme where we see India as a lion protecting the cub, which is Israel, you know? But like the opposite is like Myron as a Sudanese, as a lion Sudanese, protecting America as his cub, you know? Like he's like ready into it, like, and he's taking it super seriously, screaming at the top of his lung as if somebody walked with his shoes, with their shoes in his living room, you know? He's telling to the world that Westerners have the right to resist Muslims because of what? One event where they're praying in public? What, like for one event? You're gonna start acting as if people are going every day in the street, like taking over, and we hear the Adhan 5 times a day in all the Western countries, all the Western cities. You're gonna try to pretend that's what's going on right now? You're gonna try to pretend that, oh, there is mosque everywhere you go? If there is some mosque, it's basically just random rooms that are being rented. Okay, it's not a super big display of religion in the middle of the city. That's pretty rare. You know, most mosques are just rented room that you can't even notice from the outside. All right, that's one thing. Now you're basically inciting violence or whatever. I'm not sure what you're trying to incite, but you're telling to the world that people have the right to resist Muslims just because they're praying once. They're like in Times Square, and like they shut it down, like a small portion of Times Square for prayer, and now you're inciting violence, I guess, towards Muslim. That's that's a pretty big stretch, man. You're in Ramadan you're going way too far just for that single event.
Go to fucking Saudi Arabia, go to UAE, go to Qatar. These countries are all fucking beautiful. They're safe. You don't got to worry about shit. You don't got to worry about 99 genders. You don't got to worry about fucking lutis. Lutis.
Why in the hell would they go to a Muslim country just because they prayed once in Times Square? You know, you're acting as if like it's illegal or they really did something illegal. You know, like that's the thing with Myron. He's all about like, he's a super nationalistic guy, all about the rule of law. But then, like, he's crashing out on Muslims for praying, which is not even, like, it's not even illegal. They're doing something, like, fully illegal. And you're crashing out. So, I mean, he's really acting in a really pathetic way.
Mafi Haramia, Mafi Mushkila. Go over there. Go over there, bro. Goddamn. But when you guys come in here and you guys fucking want to pray at the Times Square and everything else like this and fucking assert dominance, because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's called spade a fucking spade. That's a fucking problem. That's what annoys me with these motherfuckers. Like, you guys are not honest. You guys are just not honest. So these guys have every fucking right to resist.
Like, they have every right to resist. Nobody's fucking resisting. You're the only one crashing out. You're the only one doing like everybody else is doing, and it's complaining on the internet. That's all that's going on. You know, basically acting like a teenager raging on his keyboard. You know? From where it's coming from, your resistance. You know, you're not a Christian crusader trying to take back Jerusalem. You know, you're just a guy streaming. What are you talking about?
Islamic dominance in a Western country that isn't a Muslim country. I tell the truth whether it benefits me or not, and this is coming.
Shut the fuck up! You ain't telling shit. That's not the truth. That's a lot of lies right there. You know, like, you're really crashing out for one event. You should calm the fuck down.
I'm a Muslim guy. I don't like to admit this, but it's the truth. And if you niggas are going to complain in the comment section and talk shit and say, oh, well, Myron, dude, you're not a Muslim, or Islam. Bro, this is why so many people have a negative connotation of Islam, because you guys want to come.
No, it has nothing to do with it. Just stop acting as if, like, everywhere Muslim goes, they make their presence known. That's far from the truth. I would even say that it's the contrary. A lot of Muslims try to make themselves as unnoticeable as possible. And now you're just lying.
Men, you want to shove it down their fucking throat. You want to force.
But you're lying. You're completely lying. That's not true. It's not because there is one event in Times Square where people are praying that it's a recurring behavior.
Niggas to do the Shahada. You want to force niggas to pray.
Nobody's forcing people to do the Shahada. Yeah, there is a lot of Muslim into converting other people to Islam. That's true. There's a lot of them doing that, but they're not forcing any people to convert. What the fuck are you talking about?
Want to force people to tell them that the religion sucks and Jesus isn't a God and all this other bullshit. Bro, nobody wants to hear that shit.
What's the point? Those are debate. They're debating amongst each other. Like, theologists are debating amongst each other. Why you care about that? Why are you shoving down the throat of people how female are misbehaving? Nobody wants to hear that shit. How many people tell you that? So who the fuck are you to tell other people, oh, you shouldn't talk about that? The way he's behaving screams so much insecurity about his identity. It's like, it's really pathetic.
Nobody wants to hear that shit. People want to be able to practice their religion.
Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, guys, his point of view is neither good nor bad. But I already have a problem with the way he goes about it, you know? He's really feeding off on the grift to throw his own people under the bus. You know, that's working very well on the internet nowadays. You know, if you're copying what the Hodge twins are doing, or Candice Owen, just catering to the white supremacists and throwing your own people under the bus, they really love that. You know, you really gonna perform and have good ratings on the internet when you do that. And Myron, he's no different. He's doing exactly the same thing. He's extrapolating, he's exaggerating and feeding off into the bigotry and hatred just to prove his point, and he's not willing to have a nuanced conversation. He just wants to double down and scream at the top of his lung. But anyway, he's their subject. He's like a jester in a court. You know, all those people that I've just mentioned, the Hodge twins, Candice Owen, and people like Myron or Officer Tatum, that throw their own people under the bus just to cater to that special group. They are really like court jesters to their king. You know, they're just dancing to what their masters are saying to entertain them, you know? And that's exactly what those guys are doing. But anyway, let's continue, guys, with the analysis. We're gonna take a look at the Times Square prayer and see exactly where I would agree with Myron and where I would disagree. Let's take a look.
This time, inshallah, I'm going to invite you to come and grab your food. We have some excellent food for you guys. Excellent food. MashaAllah, barakallah. I'm talking about some chicken. Yes. Halal. Zabiha. Hand slaughtered for the sake of Allah, I promise you. Fresh food, alhamdulillah. And the rice. Don't even get me started on the rice, my brothers and sisters. The rice, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. You're just going to be eating with the sunnah. You're not going to even want a fork, spoon. You're going to be showing New York City how you eat with your fingers, alhamdulillah, all right? So listen up. Right now, I know there's a lot of brothers over there. Shout out to my brother, the Warner, right over there giving dawah. Yo, make some noise for the brother Warner right now, baby. MashaAllah, yeah. Takbir! Oh, don't scare them, brothers. Relax. They're over.
Alright, so this is where they're being performative, especially the organizer. I think his name is Way of Life SQ. You know, he's being really performative there, and that's what's pissing people like Myron. So before I give any more commentary, let's continue.
Over here on purpose to be like, oh my God, who's seen those videos where they're like, oh my God, the Muslims are taking over New York City? You seen those? You seen those? Let them know that we are taking over New York City. Takbir! Oh my God. Brothers, come on now, please. Oh my God. Take it easy. Let me show you. Let me show you something. You see, there's going to be people who come over here to protest. And all they can do is just scream from the corners. But this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us. So let's show them how it's done really quick. I want you to come from your heart. Repeat after me. Are you ready? Yeah. Say Bismillah if you're ready. Bismillah. New York City, I said, say Bismillah if you're ready. Bismillah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay, now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, because it's haram in Islam to lie. We don't lie. We don't lie. I know they learned their...
Making it extra performative, like to piss off the Islamophobe like Myron, you know? So he's doing it on purpose, like he's, you know, doing the rallying cry, like he's screaming like, Takbir, and then they're all screaming Allahu Akbar. But they're doing it on purpose to piss off the Islamophobe. And, you know, I kind of agree with them because, you know, there is a lot of hate towards Muslim and a lot of bigotry for absolutely no reasons. You know, so they're kind of shoving into their face like their hatred. You know, so in that sense, I kind of agree, because even when Muslims are on their best behavior, they're still gonna hate. You know, so that kind of give them a small reason to hate, you know? Like, you want to hate, but let us give you a small reason to do so. Because even when we're shutting up and we're doing nothing and we're minding our own business and staying in our lane, you're still gonna hate, you know? You're still gonna be super hateful and super bigoted towards us. So now, like, we're gonna shove it a little bit in your face and show you that we don't really care about your opinion, and all you're gonna do is yap on the internet.
Apologists and all that stuff. We don't lie.
So I kind of agree with that kind of action, you know? Like, I don't really agree with the performative side, you know, but like I agree a little bit just to piss off people like Myron.
We don't need a lie. I'll tell you straight to the truth. That was kind of weak. I'm going to just keep it a stack with you guys. That was kind of weak. But listen, you've been fasting. You haven't eaten. I get it. I get it. We're about to get some great food from Darbar. Shout out to them. Shout out to other sponsors. Droplets of Mercy. Guys, give a takbir for Droplets of Mercy. Takbir! My brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. This is not cheap. It is not free. And it ain't easy. Insurance alone is a stack of money, all right? So shout out to all those people. Shout out to all those people who are in the insurance game and they know what it is.
I'm not sure why they said they shut off Times Square and there's like 3,000 people. From what I'm seeing, there is a small protected area and there is barely 100 people for what I'm seeing, you know? So there's the fence here in the background. And there is a few people there, you know, and there is like spectators all around. So I'm not sure what they shut off exactly. Like they just took a small portion. There is barely like 100 people, so I'm not sure what all the fuss is about. He's gonna start praying. Now this is the part where I agree too, you know? Like this dude in one interview with, I forgot his name, but he said that he's doing this, they're doing the pray in public just to display the religion to the people and kind of clear up some misconception about Islam. And I think this is a good thing, you know, just to pray and for people to hear like the prayer. I think it's a good thing, you know?
We're done hiding.
So this is Way of Life SQ, not at the same event. I think it was last year, or I'm not sure when it was, but let's hear what he has to say.
We're done hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be upon, of Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in.
Just a small parenthesis. I think Way of Life SQ, I saw a little bit of videos from him. And, you know, I've been around a few people with bipolar disorder, you know?
In every single district, it should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. There is no God worthy of worship except Allah, the God of Jesus, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, and the God of the last and final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
So this is the part where I really disagree with, you know, because it's clearly performative. And, you know, you're clearly doing it for the whole public to hear. And I'm not sure exactly what is the point. I'm not sure exactly what is the point, you know? Like, if you want to do it in a like, there's nothing inherently wrong with what he said, but it's just the fact that you really want to hammering in that message in front of all those people who doesn't really give a fuck about your religion, you know? They don't care about Islam. They don't want to hear it. Like, if you want to go in public and pray, okay, go ahead. But if you want to scream at the top of your lung that Islam's going to enter every home, like in the center of New York City, it's kind of, okay, what is the point, you know? And this is where I'm going to join Myron on his take. You know, I just really disagree with his delivery and, you know, the arguments he used. But what Way of Life SQ did in that clip, it's super weird, you know? Like, do it in private. You go into a mosque and do that speech if you want to, because it's really not necessary to do it in public like that. You know, you're clearly provoking people for no reason. Like, you're kind of shoving the religion into people's throat that haven't asked you for anything, you know? I kind of became not so bad at recognizing some people with a few screws loose up in their head, you know? And not to be insulting, but I think he does have bipolar disorder. You know, like he's super like energetic. A lot of time, a little bit like he's a little bit too much. You know, like a little bit too intense. You know, people with bipolar disorder, even on medication, like they can be a little bit too intense. You know, a little bit uncalibrated socially. Like there is too much intensity. So you can clearly see after seeing that clip that the dude is clearly like a little bit unhinged, and this is why I say that he might be bipolar, you know. And this is pretty much where I would join Myron on his analysis, because like the guy, he's just way too much, you know, too much energy. He's screaming like as loud as he can that Islam will enter every home, like as loud as he can that, oh, they're gonna hear us from the Bronx, from the Queens to the whatever, like Islam will enter every home. It's like, bro, calm the fuck down, man. I mean, I get that you feel a little bit attacked and whatever, like we all feel that way, but you know, there is a whole bunch of people passing by that have no interest in religion whatsoever, you know. There's a lot of people who don't have a bad view of Islam, and they don't have like they're pretty much neutral, you know, and you're just screaming at the top of your lung that Islam will enter every home, like it really looks like a cult, you know. And I'm really talking to that guy in particular, Way of Life SQ. He's really exaggerating, you know, like he's doing that whole rallying cry thing, you know, and just it's just too much, you know. As I said, guys, like there's a whole bunch of people who don't really care about religion. They don't want to hear it. So, you know, like just do your thing peacefully on the side, but just the fact that you're screaming like that, I would have to agree with Marwan that like it's a big exaggeration, and you're misrepresenting what Islam is about, and you're misrepresenting what Muslims are doing, you know, because now you're really feeding into this idea that Islam is coming to take over like the whole world. When, you know, you can clearly see that people that are really, that can observe carefully, you can really notice that most Muslims are a bunch of nerds that ain't gonna take over shit, you know. All they do is pray 5 times a day and trying to be engineers and doctors and whatever, you know, try to be better than their parents, be better than the last generation, you know. They're really like a bunch of nerds, and they ain't gonna take over shit, you know. But that dude, he's so like unhinged that he's really feeding off into that stereotype that Islam is coming to take over, you know. So I mean, Marwan and all the white supremacists in that sense, you know, if you really want to be nuanced, I kind of see where there is room for criticism, you know. The problem is that they're kind of they are mixing everything together and just fitting into the bigotry, you know. So this is where I would have to disagree, but you know, this is what a nuanced discussion is about, is to see some positive and some negative, you know. But anyway, this is gonna be it for this video, and I'm gonna talk a whole bunch more about Myron, so stay tuned in for some more. See you next time, guys.